Good afternoon, everyone. I am going to do a quick garden tour because I'm afraid I won't get this done. It is July and I just wanted to do a quick video of everything that is currently blooming. So here is our arbor, and if you watched my April or May video walkabout, you will notice a big change in my climbing roses. I have an heirloom rose and a heirloom, well, they're both heirloom roses, but I have, oh my goodness, a honeymoon that is on here, and a Cecile Brunner, that's what it is, or Brunet, however you want to enunciate it, French or non-French. But they are now climbing, and in fact, if I come over here, you're going to see that it's really climbing on that side. So, and then I don't know if you remember also my big pots, my big black pots, they have also an heirloom rose that is the Earth Angel, and they look like peonies and they're beautiful. This is a first year in the pots, but look at that glory. How beautiful is that? In fact, my daughter-in-law that was here this weekend thought they were peonies because that's kind of the shape that they give, and they have the most amazing scent. So if I scroll over here, you're going to see this side. It is midday. Actually, it's just a little after 4. I just got off work. So the sun is at its peak right now as far as brightness. So hopefully it's not too bright to see all these beautiful blooms. But I did want to just kind of give you guys a quick tour. It's not going to be a really long one today, primarily just because of time constraints. But here we go. So if I come over here, we can see that most everything is just filling in so nicely. I picked quite a few flowers for my bonus daughter. She got married on the 5th of July, and so her colors were purple and white. So I do have some missing flowers in my flower beds. That is a-okay. I have another order from Romance Gardens coming this week that I will fill in some of the gaps, but my dahlias are all up and ready to bloom. In fact, there's some blossoms just about ready to get started on here. Since the last tour, I did add some sedums, and this one, I always forget the name. This one is, I just love the color in here, is a Proven Winners. In fact, I recently purchased quite a few Proven Winners, but this is Rock and Grow Back in Black. Sorry about that. And then over here, I have my Liatris is about ready to bloom. And I did recently cut back my spirea to make it a kind of a sphere shaped, and it's doing great. I'll show you my other ones that need to be pruned. This back here is from my sweet little dogs that you may hear in the background barking. But anyways, they kind of trampled back there. They saw a little chipmunk, so they tend to destroy things when they see little critters out in the garden. My phlox is doing great as well, and both of them are about ready to bloom. That one is not quite there, but if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that there's some blossoms on there. This one I was hoping was going to be ready for the wedding this last weekend, and of course it didn't bloom into the very next day, so I'm kind of bummed. But anyways, phlox, this is the tall phlox, and both of them will start blooming and bloom till the end of the summer season, which is going to be lovely. And they're beautiful and they're pretty tall. In fact, this one is taller than myself right now. I also added some Proven Winners echinacea or coneflower in my garden very recently, and I have 2 of those. I found a new nursery in Shaw, Oregon, and it is called Godfrey. I think I might have just butchered the name altogether, but it's probably my most favorite nursery now, just because of primarily the cost of the perennials, and they were all Proven Winners. Were just incredible. And do you guys remember in April and May me talking about Burst of Joy Rose? Well, she's the one that starts out as a really bright neon orange, and these 3 blossoms that are up here right now are kind of fading. She starts out kind of yellowish, but she's going to turn like a bright neon Crayola orange. Anyways, she really is a burst of joy, and she's providing a lot of bright color in my garden. Most of my colors in my garden are purple, pink. Those are my primary favorite colors, but I do have some splashes of red and obviously that Crayola orange back there that looks great. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can see I have Veronica back there. My purple, it's still blooming. All of my daylilies are blooming and just looking fabulous. Here's one of the spireas that I was just mentioning that has not yet been pruned back, but I will kind of shape that into a sphere topiary as well when it's done, and the bees are still enjoying it, so I'm going to leave it for a little bit. I have some Sweet Williams and geraniums down there, and some of my Rudbeckia black-eyed Susan are starting to bloom as well. Kai, come on. There's one of my little chewinies right now. He's trying to run up the road. Come on, get over here. Come on, Kai. That is Kai. He's one of our sweet dogs. My Asiatic lilies, they weren't blooming during my last 2 walkabouts, but now you can see that they are blooming. And so there's another one over here. My hydrangeas, all of them are blooming. In fact, I used some of them for the wedding, and they're just amazing as well. If I turn around this way, my 2 Eden roses on each side are getting bigger. I do have a blossom that is on here, but it's so tiny because it's down there in the shade. But Eden climbing roses, they should be beautiful by next year. They should continue to climb up. And here's the other one. Since my last walkabout, I also added this little hanging basket, and it has all proven winter potato vine and pink bubblegum and another little, what is the other one in here? Oh, Super Bells double blue in here. That looks pretty healthy. I had 3 different color wire vines, and so far I think I really am enjoying this one and then the black one right here, just because they look so good and kind of stand out in the garden. I have more dahlias back there that are about ready to bloom. If I come over here, I am thrilled because my crocosmias weren't blooming in my last 2 videos walkabouts, but now they are blooming, and we have hummingbirds galore that are just enjoying these crocosmias so much. They love them, so that makes us love them in turn. If I come over to this bed, this is one of the newer beds that we installed last May. It's obviously doing very well too. You can see I have some tick seed that is blooming, and I do have some cornflowers that are also about ready to, or coneflowers, not cornflowers, coneflowers that are about ready to bloom. If I come this way, the garden's a little messy too because I've been, well, cutting for the wedding and whatnot. So if you see hoses and things of that nature, we're going to pretend we don't see them. But otherwise, isn't it just beautiful? I did a short video a couple weeks ago. My husband bought 8 new roses for $5 a piece. Yes, you heard me correctly. From a vendor in Kaiser, Oregon. And these are just beautiful. So this one's got a yellow pink. This is what it looks like right before it's matured out. This is how it starts out. Over here I have a couple cream and white ones, and I'll show you the last 4 down there in just a second. But here's the view this way. Everything is just at its peak and looking beautiful. Except for that, if you guys see straight ahead right there, that cypress still needs to be cut out. Unfortunately, we planted both of those this spring, and they were given to us from a friend. And for whatever reason, the one is not going to make it. So we're gonna have to take that out. If I keep coming down this way, and again, I've added some additional components. This is Little Sexy Rexy, and boy, is she just gorgeous. All of my roses really put on a show, and they're all first year, with the exception of a couple I'll show you in just a second. And for their first year, they're just doing phenomenal. If I come over here, you're gonna see that I have some more blossoms. My hollyhocks are starting to bloom, and they're doing beautiful. And then all of my, or most of my lupine, I think it's lupine, are just about done blooming in here. And then I think I showed you guys, well, I know I showed you guys the last 2 videos. This was a brand new bed down here. And so you can see all the zinnias are doing well. They're about ready to bloom sometime soon. And then if I come over this way, the black pots are doing great. And do you remember this bed? This is that new bed that my husband installed with using one of the arbors that he makes as the base. And he also installed that little black bench in the back. This too is phenomenal. The bachelor buttons are starting to bloom. The only thing that I would say is a fail is I don't know if I'll ever plant bachelor buttons in this bed, at least, because for whatever reason, you can see that they're falling over. Whereas if I just done my cosmos and my zinnias, I think they would have all stood up. So this section right straight ahead is not my favorite, but you know, it is what it is this year. Things happen. If I turn this way, I'm going to show you another component that I recently installed, and hopefully you can see I might have to go to the other side to get a better view, but we recently installed this little solar fountain, so I don't have to worry about batteries and or electricity, and the sound is incredible. And my coneflowers in here are about ready to bloom. I said cornflowers, coneflowers are about ready to bloom. And then if I come over this way, hopefully you can see because the sun is awfully bright right now, but that bed is just doing, this is probably my most favorite bed in my garden. I just love it. It's just so full. Now I mentioned earlier that we have some roses that are heirloom roses that are a little bit older than a year. We purchased these last July, so this is their first full season. This is Love Song, and this is her second go around of blooms. So I missed showing them to you in a full video, but I do have some little shorts that I did. This one is Plum Perfect, and look at all the blossoms. This is going to be her second flush of flowers. And if I come down here, you can really see how pretty they are, minus that bright light. It looks more of like a mauve, but it's really a deeper purple. And they are just beautiful, and they all smell amazing. This is Quicksilver, also an heirloom rose. And as I mentioned in my prior videos, heirloom is probably my most favorite vendor so far to date, anyways, just because the plants were so healthy and are just doing so well. If I come back over to this way, I'll give you guys a quick update of what's going on here. All of my hydrangeas, as I mentioned, are really doing well. I picked off about 6 blossoms off of here for my bonus daughter's wedding, but there is one down there if you can see it. I know the light is awfully bright. I did add 3 proven winners Japanese anemones, and these are Love Me Sweetly, and they are beautiful. They are bright pink, so I'll show you guys those when they start blooming, which shouldn't be too long from now. And I think that arbor right there is finally gonna potentially be sold tomorrow. So we have a person that's coming out to look at it tomorrow. But what I'm most excited about out here is look at the cosmos. Do you remember how little they were in my first 2 videos? I'm gonna link both my April and May in case anybody wants to catch up on my videos. But out here, all of these beds are doing incredible. And then as I mentioned in the past, my husband built these 3 raised beds, and I remember planting them thinking, gosh, I hope they're gonna spill over and just be overabundant in flowers. And you can see they certainly are doing exactly what I was hoping for. In fact, I'm gonna have to prune them back a little bit because they are so full. And they have wave petunias and all kinds of stuff in there, hardy geraniums. There's actually a oh my goodness, I just forgot the name of it, boxwoods in there, but the other flowers are so big that they're taking over. That little hanging basket's also doing very well with petunias and some wire vine. And my next order of proven winners from Romance Gardens, I'm going to add the rest of my flowers that I have some gaps obviously out here still. I had quite a bit of, I just forgot the name of it too, but anyways, this one plant that is very prolific and is borage that I actually pulled quite a bit out just because it was overtaking my other perennials and annuals that I'm trying to grow in my beds. So here we go. Again, I said this was going to be a quick tour, and I was not kidding because my husband's going to be driving down that driveway with a big trailer in just a minute. Here's the back bed. I said this was one of my least favorite beds. Used to be one of my favorites, but it is not actually doing too bad. But if I come over here, what I did want to show you is the purple dahlias. I picked most of them for the wedding, but they are actually blooming. You'll see all the beautiful geraniums and Kai, of course, in the background. I think this is a purplish dahlia. Looks like it needs some water, but I think it's just the sunlight. More daylilies and my white dahlias. You can see a whole bunch of them, but I did pick quite a few of those again for the wedding this last weekend. Otherwise, everything's doing pretty well. I have 2 roses out here. I think it doesn't get enough sun. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it does look healthy, so we'll just kind of wait and see to see how they're doing. All of my daisies, I also picked probably about half of them for the wedding, but you can see I still have a ton more. And that, you guys, and by the way, my climbing arbor with my, oh my goodness, today I cannot just think. I have my climbing, oh my goodness, I'm not even gonna say, but I have some things climbing up there. Honeysuckle, 2 different varieties. They're also doing very well. So I'm going to give you one last glance at everything, and then I'm going to let you guys go enjoy the rest of your afternoon. But I had to do some sort of video for July because I'm a little behind. Also I'll mention the globe. This is globe thistle right here. It's taller than me, and I picked off, I harvested a pretty good size bucket full for the wedding as well. And I'm actually going to relocate those primarily because, as I mentioned in my prior videos, we have a beautiful little tree in here that I'm hoping is going to take off. It is a Ruby Red Falls red bud, but you can't see it. You might not see it because of the sun, but you also can't see it because of all that globe thistle. So you can see I took off quite a bit of height off of these. And so anyways, that is that. I was mainly concerned that you were going to miss my roses. So I definitely wanted to show you these beautiful roses that are doing so well. and let you guys go enjoy the rest of your day. But thank you so much for joining today. And I hope everyone's gardens are thriving and doing well. That's another hanging basket I did, by the way, and doing great. And I will catch you guys. I'll probably try to do another June walkabout after I add my other annuals and perennials that I just recently purchased from Romance Gardens. And that, I promise, is it for today. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully everyone had a great 4th. And I will catch all of you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.